there's a certain irony in the building industry that a lot of people think, oh, if you're cutting down forests, you're actually going to be contributing to global warming, and but the reality is that timber is actually a good store of carbon, and the cement industry has been labelled a high carbon producer. But are the alternatives any better? Well, I think they are. Steve Chandler is a property development expert, and he's asking, is it time for a timber revival? Steve, good morning.
Morning, Steve.
This seems like a bit of a no-brainer, but when we say a timber revival, what are we talking about? Because I know there has been a move to steel-framed homes in a lot of places, but are we talking about, rather than building slabs, building old-school homes with raised floors, perhaps?
Yeah, remember the good old days when you had an underfloor space for ventilation and air movement, and we
Keep your
used
wine
timber.
collection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But the beauty of timber is that it's a natural product. It regrows, and as you mentioned in the intro here, it stores carbon. So if you are someone who is particularly concerned about our environment, then timber's brilliant. Absolutely
Why did
brilliant.
why did we move to slab-based construction as opposed to raised timber floors?
I think it's about cost. It just comes down to cost. Time is a big one. Being able to knock the dirt around, level it out, and put some mesh on the ground and a bit of concrete.
Hmm.
Easy, fast, just and relatively cost effective.
Is it still that way though? Because I mean, with the rising cost of building materials, has timber come back into its own, perhaps?
Yeah, look, timber was one of the products that the cost went through the roof with the shortage we had because of the pandemic. Similarly with steel went through the roof. All the infrastructure projects that we're coming towards the end of, what do they use? Concrete and steel. Concrete
Hmm.
and quarry products went through the roof. Now that the infrastructure projects are backing off, it's time that we looked at, these things that became really expensive and said, well, why are they still expensive? Timber in Australia, the Australian housing framing market, the timber that we use, the pine that we use, it got destroyed. A lot of it, the crop got destroyed in our fires in late 2019, early
Yep.
2020. That's going to come back into the market in the next year or so. So timber prices should, well, not plummet, but should come back, substantially. And hopefully timber will have a revival. It's a renewable resource. What could be better than that?
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if we have the expertise to build those old school, old style homes these days.
Um, Yeah, good question. As a older person in the industry, I can't see that we're teaching the young tradies what to do with timber. I don't think we're teaching them to be tradesmen like they used to be, or tradespeople now. It's great to have more women in our industry. It's fantastic, but we're just not. I don't believe that we're teaching them what to do. The other thing that we've done is remove the end of year 10 leaving school and going to an apprenticeship scenario.
Yeah.
Everyone's being
Yep.
forced into year 12.
Yeah, and look, I've talked about that a million times, that we have a tradie shortage because we told everybody 30 years ago, if you don't go to university, you're a failure, and now we wonder why we haven't got enough tradies.
Agreed.
The tradies that we do have are all earning more than the university graduates, so that worked out well, didn't it?
Very, very.
Yeah. So, well, this is an interesting one. All right, look, we'll see what our listeners think. Steve, always good to talk to you.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks very much.
All the best. Steve Chandler, property development expert.